Good evening, everyone. Hello, how are you? How are ya? You all just come over from Mike's stream. Everyone's come from Mike's Filmboy 24 stream, and welcome to everyone who's come from there. Hope you had a great time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join because I was busy getting this ready, and it takes a fair amount of work, let me tell you. And that's not including making myself a little pre-show cocktail. So, bid you welcome. Get yourself comfy. We're going to talk about a camera today, believe it or not, here on BENS Camera Show. I haven't done an awful lot since last show, except for getting this show ready, other than, you know, work and sleep and all the rest of it. I did go to Bournemouth, visit my daughter, and there'll be video of that later on today's camera in question. Wow, it's already hopping on the chat. Let's see. Hey, Mike's here. Hey, Filmboy 24. Mike, you can relax now. You passed the baton to me for the evening's entertainment. Hope you had a good show. Old Radios is here, flying. Oh my God, it's the old gang, and hopefully some new people's like. I always say that, it's so tacky, isn't it? hacky, tacky, whatever. Talking of which, that's a good segue into tonight's camera, because on this show I only strive to bring you the absolute top quality in cameras. Oh shit! I better switch off my WhatsApp because it's getting. Oh dear. Okay. Don't message me on WhatsApp, please. Excuse me. I've lost my train of thought. We're going to talk about a camera tonight. Yes. And yeah, it's... I know some of you are going to claim I jumped the shark tonight because, you know, usually we go deep into the sort of the film, the analog, the home development, the Super 8, the Standard 8, very occasionally 16mm. And once or twice I've showcased some high quality video equipment. And the best I can say about tonight's camera is that it is video equipment. So people are going to say, what? Let's just get onto the camera in question, shall we? Then all will be revealed. Basically, I bought this camera for Exploding Cinema because we wanted something with a good zoom lens that we could use to, with a clean HDMI output, which we could use for streaming our shows. And I found this for the princely sum on eBay of £30. What did I buy? What did I bought? What I got was, let me get into my little box on the side here. What I got is this, basically. Let's get the top camera on as well. Is this, also known as the Canon Legria R67. I'm going to have to refer to some notes here and there. My God, it was a lot of research for such a camera. Yes, so it was made in. Let me get the white background on. Let me get some production value into this. There we go. Old Radio's finally got a changing bag. Good for you, mate. You'll never look back. They are so useful. No excuses. Now I need the chemistry. Old Radio says, be glad you're not under a tornado watch. I hate this time of year here. My God, where are you? There are tornadoes coming down from the sky. It's okay. I found a Canon digital camera last weekend too. You should have your own show, Old Radios. Call it the Old Radios Camera Show or something, because you got a new camera every week. Anyway, this side towards screen is on my side. Sweet, I am a camcorder hoarder. You see, just because, yes, 6.7, I know, Old Radios. Just because it's digital and it's a camcorder, let's not be snobbish today, okay? I know I've featured such illustrious Canons as the 814 XLS Super 8 camera. I have featured the Canon, well, briefly, the 1014 XLS. Various other Canons. I'm going to be featuring a Canon Single 8 before long. But tonight, it's a Canon video camera. And you might even wonder what the hell is of use is a video camera even anymore. I'm also wondering what the hell's going on with my my green screen, as usual. It's playing silly buggers with me. So this particular camera, so I got it for Exploding Cinema, and I played around with it, and I found it was actually quite an interesting camera. Audrey says, it looks like my Sony Handycam. Yes, I mean, pretty much every camcorder back in the day, 10 years ago, looked like this. And they kind of still do. They've pretty much miniaturized these things to the point where any smaller and you won't be able to sort of hold it comfortably and film with it. I'm going to switch once again. I'm going to switch off as usual. I'm giving up early on the green screen because it's great in theory and it's just bloody annoying in practice. So let's sort that out. We just got the green, which is, it's about as good. It was a lot less disturbing stuff in the way. Right. Let's start at the beginning. The Canon Legria HF R67. It was released in May 2015 in the UK for the princely sum of £200 to £250, which is, allowed for inflation, that's about £300 today. It was also released under the name Vixia in the US. For some reason, Legria was seen as un-American, so they said Vixia appeals more to the American crowd. And then the model numbers were a bit different as well. Don't bother. I'm looking for the HFR67 in America because they went straight from the R62 to the R70. The main difference being onboard storage and a microphone jack, which the American ones had. But the British ones did not for some reason. So yeah, this camera is now 11 years old, and 11 years. Before I do anything, this is annoying me. Just a minute. I'm going to cut that little bit of crap at the top of my. There we go. That's better. There. Now it's clean. Excuse me, I'm going to blow my nose as well. I'm going to turn the volume down for that. Bear with me. Believe me, that was for all your benefits. This side towards the screen says, I have a Panasonic camcorder. It has a gyro IBIS in the camera. Smooth as butter. Yeah, we're going to talk about image stabilization in a minute. So, anyway, so yes, this came out 11 years ago, and 11 years is a weird time in the world of cameras, because Super 8 cameras got really cool about 10 years ago, about when this was coming out. Super 8 cameras were cool, and that was about 30 to 40 years after they came out. Now we're 10 years later, and you know what the cool cameras are for the kids and for the artists and everything? Chunky mini DV camcorders like the Sony VX1000 and like the Canon XM1 and XL1. And a camera like this hasn't really fallen into the cool retro camp yet. It's going to take another 20, maybe 25 years before people say like, oh my God, I've got a vintage Canon Legria HFR67. And it feels weird because right now, these cameras are in the same position as Super 8 cameras were in like the 80s and 90s, in that they were being sold and picked up for an absolute steal because no one wanted them. Everyone was onto the latest thing, and they hadn't got the retro charm yet. So I don't know. Why not grab a couple of these while they're cheap? And I don't know, use them. Well, after today, you might want to use one. Why not? They don't take up much space, and they're very light. This thing weighs. Let's see how much I've got loads of details about this thing. It weighs 240 grams. I'm not sure if that's with or without the battery. It weighs 240 grams, which is the equivalent of. It's the equivalent of a 1 cup of water, or 1.5 billiard balls, or 4 tennis balls. That's about how much it weighs. So it's really, it's enough of a weight that you can feel it in your hand, but that's about it. It doesn't really take any effort to carry it around. And in fact, it's very lightweight, produces a bit of an issue later on when we talk about stability. And we will. We're going to talk all about stability. Firstly, let's just have a look at the exterior of it. Old Rear says, I still use those cameras. Good. Handy cams. Yeah. What, you mean use the chunky ones or these? Whatever. The good thing about this was that it was sold saying that the battery, the seller said that the battery couldn't take a charge, and all it needed was an overnight charge, and then boom, good as new. The battery does work, so well, hey. If you look for one of these on eBay these days, you can expect to pay about £80, but unless you get a good deal. Anyway, so let's have a look at the exterior. There's not a lot going on, to be honest. I mean, for reasons of cost, they have foregone every button they can possibly get away with getting rid of. So you've got your start and stop filming here. You've got a lens cap release. It's got a built-in lens cap. Easy, nice. What else has it got? It's got your zoom. Your zoom sort of goes side to side for going forwards and backwards. Strange. And battery release. Now, if you open up the screen, you get a few more buttons here. In fact, this thing makes little noises. Should we hear that again? Why not hear that again? Why the hell is WhatsApp? You know what? I'm going to have to quit WhatsApp because I didn't even know it was open. Oh God, this is where I'm gonna. Okay. Oh God, I can only uninstall it. WhatsApp. So let's just quit that. Maybe that will do it. So, yes. So the screen. Oh yeah, we were going to listen to the noise it makes when you because I like the noises these cameras make. So let's put the secondary mic on, and here we go. We hear that, and ooh, a little dingly dangly, jingle jangle. Switch that off for now. So yeah, it makes a little tune, and all you get here is on off, and to switch between gallery and camera. There are 3 sockets down here. One is the AV out, which has the usual 4-pole mini jack, which goes to 3 plugs, the red, white and yellow. It's got HDMI out, very important, and I'll be plugging something in later to that, and a standard, well, a USB, a bit of an old style USB port there for transferring your footage. It's this one, this type. Remember these? It's like about 2 or 3 USB cables ago. At least it's a fairly standard one, not some weird proprietary one. I'm looking at you, Sony. Anyway, so here's where all the action is. It's on the screen. It also gives you a little warning if you switch it on without the lens cap on. So luckily, I have. I've switched it. I've gone to the menu and I've told it to put all this details and everything on the HDMI feed. So let's just plug this in, and then we should have, if this thing works, switch that off. Well, let's put the chroma key back on, and here we go. HDMI. Take that white background off. Yay, there we go. Excuse me. So, here we have a live picture here. And here we have all this stuff on the screen here. Now, the menu system of this thing is completely whacked out. It is very weird. There's about 3 different menus to go into various different options. But I think I've figured it out. My God, the chat's all over the place. Oh, everyone's talking about camcorders. Yeah, the Mavica, the floppy disk, mini DV, handycams. Oh my God, it's all going on. We've just scratched the surface here, haven't we? We could do a whole season just on video cameras, couldn't we? Not that I have that many video cameras, but there we go. So let's go into some of these things here. So firstly, this P up here, I realize that's the way you want to start first. If you hit the P, you can choose these different program modes, which baby mode I'll go into a bit later. It's a weird one. Auto, so yeah, puts everything on automatic. Get that out of the way. It's got one called, oops. cinema, I'll show you the cinema settings in a minute. The scene settings, which is just another bunch of presets, a bit like cinema, and P, which is for the aficionados, and that's where they leave all the manual functions up to you. So let's just go for P for now. So that takes you back to the main screen. Now, okay, if you hit photo here, it takes a screen grab, takes a picture of whatever you're pointing at. Let's just do that. Listen to that. There we go. Just took a picture of a microphone. Amazing. Let's see. This thing, well, it's grayed out right now, but that's if you are zoomed in. You can choose where you want to zoom into. So let's have a look. So supposing I want to zoom in. Oh yeah, the things I'm zooming into today, the artwork here, was created by my daughter Lily. So yeah, go to zlot.over on Instagram for more of her stuff. So if you hit this thing here, this is what happens. It kind of zooms out, and then if you sort of, oops, it zooms out, and then you can move the camera around to look at the next thing you want to zoom into. And then when you let go of the button, it zooms back in. Bit of a weird function that, but we haven't scratched the surface yet with the weird functions. Down in the corner here, this is a programmable button. And I've done it, I programmed it right now to go straight to manual aperture, which is quite handy. So if I just press that, you get this. And this is basically their kind of manual control screen that you get. So I can, if I touch at something here, then I can go left or right. It's so hidden in the thing. So left and right to go up and down a few stops. There we go. And on the other side just to go down. Very bit clunky that. And I'll switch that on off manual, so back onto auto. Here, this is important. This is basically where all the controllable functions are once you're in regular shooting mode. So if I press this, my other hand, you get these, which are basically various things you can do while you're shooting. So you can change your well, decoration. That's a weird one. You can overlay stuff on the on the picture. Ah, yeah. You see, this is weird. This doesn't come through on the thing. But you basically have a choice of things you can put over your picture. Slow and fast motion, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's time-lapse or slow motion. I'll be showing you some footage from that later. Faders, that's between shots, if you want it to fade out or do a weird wipe. Zoom type is basically gives you a choice. 32 zoom is the optical zoom. 57 is the digital. 2,850 times. Well, I'm going to show you what that looks later. And yeah, I'm still trying to think of a situation where you would need the 2,850 times zoom. It is truly bizarre. Stay tuned for that. What else have we got in this menu? So we've got quite a few things in this menu because we're on the manual setting. But if you were on autos, a lot of this wouldn't be available. So here's focus. This is how you focus. You have to go into this, hit MF here, and then you've got your that's basically zoom out and that's zoom in, and it's ridiculous because you have to press this and keep tapping it, and then you get this 0.1 meter. And if you keep tapping it, it doesn't change, but it is changing the focus the more you tap this, but it only counts when you get to the next 10 centimeters, 0.4, 0.5. See, now we're on to one tap per change. 7, 1 meter, 1.8, 4.8, and straight to infinity. Boom. So yeah, it's clunky as hell. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but the old dial on the end of a lens always seemed to work for me. Also, you can have focus assistance, where if you tap on it, see, it's doing it on the screen, on this screen, but not on that. Never mind. Focus assistance, yeah. It's basically, it zooms it up so you can see what you're doing. So yeah, that's how you focus, just by getting into the menu and doing boom, boom, boom. Basically, they don't really want you in charge of your own focus. They would probably rather you let them do it all in automatic. But, you know, getting around the automatic functions of these cameras is something I've been doing on Super 8s for ages. Flying O says, that's kind of cool. I wish I was paying attention, see what feature you were talking about. I never thought much of these settings. Yeah. Oh, focus, yeah. Yeah, the Flying O makes a good point. The amount of engineering that went into these things for the relatively low prices just astounds me. It is amazing because basically camera engineers basically became software engineers, because everything we see here is taking the basic hardware of this and just sort of messing with it in different ways. What else can we do here? Let's see, the decoration, the fader. Powered IS, that's image stabilization here. It's supposed to be like even better image stabilization, but I can't really see much difference. I think it's usually off because probably it uses up the battery. Pre-rec, I reckon you hit the record and then run in front of it, a bit like a timer. Focus, we've done that. Exposure, I've shown you that. Mic level, well, you know, gives a crap. White balance, well, this is interesting. The white balance, this is it's on auto white balance now. You can choose, you know, daylight, artificial light, and it actually has a white balance you can set yourself. So I can put a piece of white paper in front of it and press set WB, and there we go. It sets it to white, and now apparently we've got true colors here. So yeah, it is actually you can have a custom white balance in here. Well, this is all very interesting, but the question is, are video cameras even a thing anymore? I've already asked that, and I haven't really answered it, because in 2015 we're well into the mobile phone era, aren't we? And does anyone use one of these things when a mobile phone will do the job instead? Well, why indeed do the camera makers even make these, and who is in the market for them? All interesting questions. And I think I've got the answer here, which is this. This distance between the lens and about here where the sensor is empty space that another lens can move up and down to do your zooming, right? You can't do this on a phone because they're too flat. And the focal length between the lens and the sensor is something that you can't do on a phone unless the phone is like got a whole barrel on it. And that's why lenses are in barrels to begin with, because there is a distance. It's the laws of physics, basically. Not only that, but this camera has a bigger sensor in it than phones do, because it's got a bit more space inside for a bigger sensor. So under what circumstances, what things can this camera do that your average mobile phone can't, is basically what I'm asking. And also I'm asking what mobiles were available at the time when this camera came out, 2015. Well, I did a bit of research and I found out what was available. The best camera phone of 2015 was said to be the Samsung Galaxy S6, which cost between £500 and £600, which translates to $680, $600 to $700. And that had a 16 megapixel camera and could record in 4K. The Canon has a, believe it or not, 3.28 megapixels. 3.28, that's like nothing. And it only records in full HD, that's 1920 times 1080. So it doesn't do 4K. So yeah, you're thinking, what? Well, okay, the Samsung Galaxy S6 cost twice as much as these things. So let's compare like with like. Let's have a look at the specs of a phone available in 2015 that would cost about the same as one of these. And I found three. One was the Motorola Moto G3, the third generation, cost between £200 and £250 in 2015, about the same as this. And that also had a 13 megapixel camera, 3 times as much as this, more than 3 times. And it had a smaller sensor, but it could film it on high def as well. Not only that, a phone called the OnePlus 2, which I've never heard of before, was £239. Had a smaller sensor, more megapixels, and also the Sony Xperia M4 Aqua was priced about the same as this thing. And that had, what did that have? That had 13 megapixels, and even the front camera was 5 megapixels. So, in contrast, this thing seems a little bit underpowered. So, it would seem that any one of these cameras would kick this thing's ass. Not only that, but it would no one would buy this. Who would buy this when you've got a better one in your pocket? Well, we're going to see. We're going to see what this can do compared to mobile phones. And we're going to look at some footage finally with this thing. I've been very busy. It took a long time to prepare this show because unlike Super 8, I have so much footage from this thing that it's so much footage that it was hard to edit it all down. But edit it all down I did. So why don't we go into the screening room and have a look at various things this camera can do and what it looks like when you do it. But before I do that, let's just see if there's any interesting comments. Well, they're all interesting. Thanks for making the comments, everyone. It gives it all a new dimension there. These have hours and hours of recording time. Yeah, I'm not filling my phone up. No overheating. Yeah. You can take the SD card out. Can take all these very good reasons for a video for one of these cameras over a mobile. This thing takes SD cards. Yes, it has its own onboard memory as well. I think they were basically dad cams, says Niccolo. Hey, Niccolo Beretti. Yay, thanks for tuning in. You were here last time, weren't you? And yeah, and you were the guy I met. I saw your film in Dresden. Fantastic film last year. Give yourself a plug. So yeah, it can be a webcam. That's true. You're all coming up with brilliant reasons why these cameras are still actually of some use. Oh dear, there's some stuff bleeding into that. There we go. It's better. Anyway, Flying O says, stupid question, but does the UK actually back the pounds by true sterling silver? I don't think so. I mean, we went off the gold standard sometime after World War II, I think. And I don't think we were ever on some sort of silver standard. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But no, it's all fiat currency. It's not based on anything. Based on how the mood of the currency dealers, basically. This side towards screen says, I started to collect standard def cameras too. They have a unique look with the square aspect ratios. Yes. In fact, funnily enough, standard def isn't necessarily worse quality than high def. All it is that standard def is square like this, and high def has the extra information to make it into a true 16:9 image. True story. Of course, 4K is better than that. But hey, standard def, it's don't sleep on it. It's good stuff. Let's see some footage. Finally, enough of my yapping. Now we've got various. Hey, Stas Vlad, how you doing, mate? Okay, we're going to start off with some of those scene modes. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So these are the movie modes I showed you, and these are the different modes. Whoa, okay, let me just get what I'll do is I'll get the sound on, but I'll keep it kind of quiet. Okay. Let's turn that down slightly. Sounds a bit overplaced. Okay, so this is Cinema Standard. And this is in Vivid, which is supposed to be good for, I don't know, sunsets or something. What else? Cool mode, the usual kind of blue tinted. Basically, they're just sort of presets with different color temperatures, if you ask me. Nostalgic, they called this one, which has just gone a bit kind of brown, Sepia, well, no explanation needed there. I don't think I'll be using that one. The next one I quite like, which is, oh no, not old movies. That's one for old radios. It just puts black bars and I don't know what else it does. dramatic black and white. It called it dramatic black and white with high contrast. So yeah, that's not bad. I think I might be able to use that. Of course, you can do all that in post, can't you? In fact, you can do all this stuff in post. Okay, here are the scene modes that the thing has. This is called sunset, which is good because it was about sunset around then. I don't know. Snow. Okay, I didn't find any snow, but I filmed on snow setting. I guess that's just, I don't know what that is. Night scene. Okay, so it's overexposed in the day. Sports. I think that's just a, you know, very high shutter rate. You know, like a fast shutter probably for sports. Right, now some general messing about. Here's some just regular footage. Looks not bad at all, really. I mean, that's 1K, and, you know, we'll see later how mobile phone footage compares to this. Some mini DV handycam was an old movie setting. Yeah, there are. My cousin my nephew just got one, and it has all these crazy settings, like these pixelated, some pigeons. Now that's me. Sissy, my wife, did some pictures of me actually taking some of these, you know, dad cam moments, and that's me looking over the fence at old Karl Marx, his grave there, which you have to pay to get into. Except coming up, they're doing a free day. But you know, being a responsible socialist, I didn't give anyone any of my money, and yeah, filmed it through the railings there. So yeah, but you know, some very nice some very nice zoom footage. We'll see some super zooms later on. Yeah, it's got a quite nice sort of soft look to it. Okay, so here's me filming some cherry blossom. It's a really tiny. Basically, it fits right in your hand there. And the problem is you can't really get very stable with it when it's handheld. You have to rely on their own image stabilization, because you know, as you'll see in a minute, when you're zoomed in, even the image stabilization, you get in trouble. So now let's try some long zooms. So some of the camcorders have night vision. Unfortunately, this one doesn't. Look how far this bloody thing can zoom in. I think this is with the digital, but not the crazy zoom. So what are we zooming into? Can't even see it yet. Let's get closer. This is from the Dartmouth Park Reservoir. And what have we got there? That's the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral. Way. And so far away, you can see heat haze. I think it's heat haze, not some weird pixelation or something. And what have we got here? It's the Shard in London Bridge. And as you can see, when you get to this sort of level of zoom, it starts to get a bit shaky. Oops. Why has it just stopped? Ah, yes, now. This is interesting. Okay. So we're just going to freeze frame here. Okay. Check this out. This, let's get my hand in it. Oh, my notes and everything. Oh my God, all the magic behind the curtain here. Those of you who aren't Londoners might not see the significance of this building here. It looks like just another dull kind of get that out of the way, building in the London skyline. However, that, as we knew it as the NatWest Tower, for 10 years between 1980 and 1990, that was the tallest building in the UK, in London and the UK. In fact, here we go with a little. There we go. That's what it dominated the skyline. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And there it is from the ground. Actually, still quite impressive from the ground, filmed with this camera. Now, some nice zooms here. Yeah, I mean, with with long views like this, you can get some really nice kind of camera kind of effect. Now that's with the look at that. You got yourself some more heat haze there. That's the campanile of something, a little distance away. Oh, by the way, while we're at it, I'll just nip back very quickly to St. Paul's. I did a measurement on Google Maps. That dome there is 6 kilometers away from where I was standing, and the hills you see behind them are 6 kilometers away from St. Paul's. So that I can see basically right the way across London and to the other side with this thing. Pretty amazing. Right, let's go back to the long zooms. Oh yeah, the X-ray vision mod. Yes, we all know about that. Those camcorders that went on night vision and you could see, you know, right through someone's trousers. Very naughty people. They had to withdraw those in Japan because of extremely naughty people using them for nefarious reasons. Look at that. Amazing zoom on this thing. I mean, that's okay, you know, it's a bit wobbly and everything and pixelated, but these are a long way away, these buildings. Ah, someone says, your videos help me a ton. Just wants to quick ask, are all Super 8 films reversible to making positive? Currently struggling with Surveyma film. Best wishes. Ooh. Well, that's a bit off topic, but that's a good question. Can you reversal develop? I know some aren't meant to be reversal developed, but something like okay, so well, I'll get into that later, mate. Sorry. Basically, it depends. Surveyma, I just developed some Surveyma in a previous show when I did the Argo film processor, and it came out reversal very nicely indeed. And that was the only time it ever looked any good. Olivia says, better than that Ape Tech camera I had in 2007 that took flip phone quality. Oh no, that's one of those crap ones. Anyway, so let's see some of the crazy zoom, some of the 2800 times zoom. Basically, it does a digital zoom of a digital zoom to the point where you can basically zoom. It zooms right into the pixels, and I'm not sure why. So here's like a medium zoom. This was in the Isle of Dogs, actually yesterday, zooming all the way in. Let's go a bit further in. I mean, it is absolutely incredible how far this thing zooms. And then if we go even further to 2870, you get this, which is garbage. I mean, why? What use is that? Is it like, no, mate, you know, you want a digital zoom? I'll give you a digital bloody zoom. Here, digital zoom this. I mean, what is the point? I mean, that is about as far in as you can zoom without the picture completely becoming useless. And even that is a bit fuzzy because at this point we're way past the optical. You know, this is you're looking at software zooming right now. But yeah, you get this close and you start to wonder why. I mean, it's okay. Maybe surveillance. I don't know. Surveillance or perverts. Oh yeah, I pointed at the moon. That was nice. I didn't really get much. Just it bleached out. Basically, the dynamic range wasn't available. I turned the brightness all the way down, and it still didn't help. So yeah, maybe I'll have another go at that at the full moon. Now look at that building. Look how far away it is. You got your own. We've got our own rear window kind of situation here. I think that's all these cameras are good for, really. I mean, you need a really good tripod to put this thing on for a start. But I can see, you know, MI5 using these handy. You know, you can you might not even use it for filming. You might just use it as a sort of a telescope, kind of a monocular kind of function. Let's see what those people in the penthouse have got going on. Okay, finally, now here's the last demonstration of how powerful this zoom is. That was me filming. Well, that's Nelson's column in Trafalgar Square in London. And how close to Nelson could I get with this thing? That's how close. Look at his face. I've never seen Nelson in that detail. He's got a real fucking sourpuss on him. Pardon my language. He looks a bit knocked off, to be honest. And look, they've got his sleeve all like empty and everything. But to get that close to something that far away, oh no. All I can say is wonderful what they can do nowadays. Good for private eye job, says Nico. Yes, absolutely. So okay, let's see how it matches with an iPhone 13. This is shot on an iPhone 13, which is much more into the kind of the wide angles than the close-ups, and that's with the Canon. I mean, it's no contest. Let's see. You're thinking, oh well, you have to zoom in on the iPhone. You get about this close to the London Eye, which if you do digital zoom gets you this kind of picture. And compare that to the Canon, and you start to see why these cameras haven't completely been replaced by mobiles. And here again, this is with the Canon, and that's with that's with the iPhone. That's as close as I could get with the iPhone, as zoomed up as I could get, and that's with the Canon. So, yep, the proof is right there, right up on the screen there. That for zooming, it has not been matched by any of the phones. Maybe if you put that ridiculous lens on the front of your phone that I did before in a previous show. The weatherman's sleeves are rolled up because he means business. What is that? Okay, that's not referring to anything here. But you were talking of weather. It was raining and the sun was catching the rain very nicely. And so we did a bit of a phone off. We saw, okay, iPhone versus a Canon. So here's an iPhone filming those drops of rain. Little drops of rain there. See them go down. And now with the Canon. Yeah, just sort of more detail, basically. And here's something interesting. I'm going to freeze frame. And I'm going to get all this junk on the picture as well. Okay, here's something interesting. Look at the length of the raindrops. Okay, that is the rain falling during one camera exposure, one shutter exposure. So when the camera's shutter is open, the rain falls that much. Compare that to the iPhone. Look, the raindrops, they're just little dots here. See? They're not lines, they're dots on the iPhone. Which leads me to conclude that the iPhone has a shorter shutter speed than the Canon. This is something I could have worked out by just looking at the specs. But I thought it's an interesting way to demonstrate it there, see? Long raindrops compared to little dot raindrops. Very interesting. Now, what's next? Okay, next. Okay, right. A bit of image stabilization next. Oops. Yes, okay, image stabilization. So, well, I just walked around, basically. And it did a pretty good job. All I can say. I think I had the stabilization on here, and filming sort of sideways. And I think it was off here. So, yeah, it's more jerky with it off. But, you know, you really do need the image stabilization on this thing. And this was a nice close-up. This is at the Barbican Centre in London. I mean, the bloody tourist board should pay me for taking you all on a tour around London. Now, we're going to go to the recording bit rates. Now, this is very interesting because this thing records videos as MP4s and also as AVHDCs, which no one gives a crap about those anymore. AVCHD, progressive. And they say that AVCHD is better. But I'm not sure. And there are 4 different qualities you can record at. Obviously, you know, the higher qualities give you less time to play with. So here we go. We've got 4 megabits per second, 17 megabits per second, 24 megabits per second, and 35. And just look at the difference.
24 megabits per second, highest quality on MP4.
Yeah, well, it's just me narrating it. Now look, all I've done is I've split screened it. So we've got all 4 here. Filming my plant with the zoom at the same time. So there we go. They look absolutely identical. I mean, you can, this apparently this one is a lot worse quality than this one. Maybe there's a slight difference. Tell me if you can see a difference there between those 4. I mean, it's possible the 35 is a bit better. Maybe the sound is better quality for this one, for the 35. I don't know. Oops, that's better. Yeah. So yeah, they look damn nearly the same. So now let's look at AVCHD at various quality levels. Again, it had 4 quality levels, and these are supposed to be for like high def TVs with much more detail and everything. I'm not sure I can see the bloody difference on this either. I mean, that right there. Ooh, not that. Hang on, what the hell happened there? That right there is supposed to be the best quality this camera can do. I don't know. Size of the files will be different. That's true, this side towards screen. Oh my God, old radio's being hit by the storm. Negligible difference, says Filmboy. Yes, says Mike. I know. It really. I mean, this is supposed to, I don't know. Not an awful lot of difference, even when you zoom in. So, yeah, save your the size of your, save your room. What am I talking about? Save your memory stick on the thing and just shoot at a lower quality. Who gives a crap? Now, some general messing about. Now, let's just see some regular footage. Just some holiday-style footage. In fact, let's put some music on while we're at it. Went on a deck bus. Isn't that nice? Oh, actually, wait a minute. I missed out a bunch. Oop. Oh, yeah, okay. Here we go. This is... This is just messing around trying to get the looking at the dynamic range, because if you meter for indoors, then you start bleaching out the outside. So yeah, what are you going to do about that? See, you got the dark, too dark. It's okay out there, too dark in here. Maybe film would have done better that way with that. Anyway, some people doing a gig. This was so look, this was with some of the image stabilization on the top of a bus, and look, it's got the wobbles. It's doing that, that kind of wobbly warp stabilization. Very weird. The church looks like it's made of jelly. And downstairs in the bus, don't think I'm one of those losers who has to sit downstairs on the bus, but in this case we only had like one stop to go, so I thought, what the hell. Yeah, I mean, the footage is okay. It's fine. It's detailed enough. I mean, like the dynamic range here, like oh god, I was filming those people without their permission. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the garbage out of this mask and some more upstairs in the now that was a ferry that the bus goes onto. Very exciting. We didn't go on it. We just watched it. That's a chain ferry to and there's some sort of tactical boat. But yeah, the detail's okay. The picture's okay. It's pretty the autofocus did the job eventually. It's a bit slow, the autofocus. But it is, I guess, notionally better than phone quality. It's funny. You just, as soon as you put one of these things in your hand, you just feel like some tourist. You really do. It's like, well, hey, look at that. Look at that boat. I'm going to take a film of it. People looking at me with barely concealed contempt. So business as usual, basically. So, yeah, so that was a nice view there. Using the zoom a bit here. I still seem to be slightly tilted though when I'm zoomed in. The radio says we're going to get hail. Holy crap! That's quite a nice shot. You can get those nice kind of foreshortened shots like that. Where everything looks big in the background with these big zooms. You can do that. I was thinking of doing a thing all about that on Super 8. And for the last of the Bournemouth footage, some sort of RNL lifeboat flag there. Very nice. And the old Baywatch lifeguard hooter. Now this is to complete our little tour of London. There's a famous tube station which you'll find out on the audio in a second why it's famous when it comes in. The clue is down there at the bottom of the screen there. That's right, it's Embankment Station, which has the famous announcement. Here it comes.
Mind the gap.
The gap.
Mind.
That's the gap. There's the gap. This dangerous gap here between the train and the platform. And they have this recording of this guy saying, "Mind the gap." And it's the only station on the whole network that does this, and the reason they've kept the recording is quite sweet. It's because the guy died, and his widow asked that they keep the voice recording so she could hear his voice, and so they did. Here we go.
Mind the gap.
That's the gap. Watch out.
Mind the gap.
That's the gap. Okay, and finally, mind the cat. Quite low level. Yeah, I know. She's looking at me like that. What the hell are you doing now? Go get yourself a proper job. You know how cats look down on you. Mind the gap. This side. Finally, time lapses. We're going to have some fun now with some time lapses. This camera does a 1200 speed time lapse, which is pretty damn good. Let's see what they got here. So this was one afternoon. Look at the clock going around. Took 6 hours, this one. Interesting thing about these time lapses is if you keep it on automatic exposure, it doesn't look quite as good because it keeps adjusting for every time the clouds go in and out. So it kind of makes it all look a bit samey. And this is a nice one. I had it on the table in a train and just filmed a few stops going from Bournemouth back to London. And then I turned it around and I filmed the other side. With my son watching the football there. Yeah, it's quite nice. 1200 speed. And finally, we've got a very nice time lapse of, we've got a time lapse of a. Okay. So this was a problem. It was still on time lapse. So the next few things I shot were just a little bit all over the place. Yeah, and then Trafalgar Square. So here's a time lapse out the window of my attic. In fact, let's go to. Okay, so what we've got here is the same view filmed on 3 different cameras. So starting off, Super 8. So this was a time lapse of that same view. I'm going to pause it on a Canon 814 XLS. This is from my straight 8 film on 500T. This is on some very, very poor quality camera, digital camera, which I featured before on this show, but it was like, it did have a time lapse, the only reason I got it. It turned out everything it filmed further than a meter away was bloody hazy. And finally, we've got some music. Yeah, we've got some. This is same view of the using the Canon, the Canon Legria, and this is with the exposure fixed onto one exposure, onto one f-stop. Interesting. So there we go. Those are the time lapses, and we're nearly done. We're not nearly done. We're nearly done with the footage. Oh my God, old radios. He's going through it, mate. You might lose his power now. He says he's had a tornado, he's had hail, he's going to lose his power. You'll never know how my end conclusions of this from this camera. Blimey. Okay, we're going to finish off with a couple of more funny things with this camera that it does. Now it does half speed, and unfortunately, I managed to break a rather nice ceramic pot here by throwing a brick into it, just to show you what half speed looks like. So here we go. Most expensive shot of the day. Come on. Boom. Doesn't even look that good, really. So I slowed it down in Premiere to 1/10 speed. And here's 1/10 speed. And this is something that phones can absolutely do better than these cameras. Yeah, that would have looked better on a phone. It would have looked better on Super 8. Oh well, now we know. And now I had to explain to my wife why the bucket was broken. I'm gonna have to buy another one. Jeez. Anyway, finally, bits and bobs. Overexposure. So I way overexposed it manually, and this interesting effect happened. This kind of weird banding. The sensor couldn't deal with the amount of light I was telling it to use. Interesting enough, when I zoomed in, it kind of stabilized itself and sorted itself out. Go figure. And then white balance. I set the white balance wrong, and everything got tinted green. And I remember in old video cameras, this was a way to get an effect. You mess up the white balance, and then yeah, it all looks like you're everything looks like there's algae on everything. There we go. And that's all the footage I have. But there's one more. Oh my god, it's 5 to 8 already. Okay. There's one last setting on this thing I wanted to show you, and that's baby setting. You think, what in the hell is baby setting? Well, this is baby setting. So basically, when you're filming, you can tell the camera to sort of metadata mark some of the whatever you're filming to be if you're filming your kids. So you might not be filming anything else. You might be filming, you know, ferries and the view out of windows and stuff. But when you have the important baby footage, you go into baby setting, okay? And what baby setting does is that it puts an automatic like tag on anything you film, so that when you watch it back afterwards, you go into baby setting here, and look, it's put this little border with hearts and stuff, and these are only shots which I filmed in baby setting. Not only that, but when you play it back, it plays a little tune. So you can enter up to 3 children in this thing. So if I press this and start playing, listen to that. This is coming from the camera itself. So it'll play your footage in a sort of a ready-made montage. It's kind of doing I don't know, like an Instagram style kind of thing. I mean, this camera tries to be many things to many people. It you know, it's trying to do social media, and it's trying to do you know, effects.
Wow, I'm a baby.
And that's before I got my hair cut. And then finally the cat. So yeah, it does little it tries to do so many things that phones could do. It's trying to keep up with phones. And at the same time, it has features which phones can't even do. So it's a strange camera made at a strange time, like a transition time. And I don't know how much these I don't know what video cameras are doing nowadays. Anyway, what are they doing? Anyway, I'm going to switch that off because that's kind of it's just annoying me now with all that crappy music. So it's a camera with its own built-in music, which is very weird. Well, you know, I can see the thinking behind it. So this side towards green gives a clap. Hopefully that was something I did right. So yeah, conclusions. Grab one while they're cheap. You can get one for 20, 30 pounds. You still got some use for it. It gives a clean HDMI output, so you can use it as a webcam. You could use it to well, it's a very nice paperweight. Here we go. Makes it a novel hat. You know, you could throw it into a river just to see, you know, how fast it's flowing. You know, there's all sorts of things this camera can do. In fact, I've got an entire sheet of specifications here. But you know, I think I've really said all that can be said about this thing in the time I have allotted myself. Of course, I could go to like 2 hours long show, just go through every single thing this camera can possibly do. But I know what you really want. What you really, really want is you want some entertainment now, because I haven't shown a film on this show for a long time. And look what I've got set up. Oh, a projector. There's the DSLR and a piece of paper, which will be our screen. So we're going to have a film show. Get your popcorn, everyone. Firstly, I've got to unplug this and plug it into the DSLR. Bear with me. There it goes. That ought to do it. Hopefully, that will That will give us, oops, no, we don't need that anymore. HDMI on. Activate it, come on. Do it, you know you want to. Ugh, really? Are you gonna play silly buggers with me now? Oh, right. The power's gone off. I see what the problem is. It's like Back to the Future, where you have to plug the... There we go. There we go. Now, knock-on effect. Yay! Camera's not shut up. Oh, yeah, all right. I'm sorry. Not shut down cleanly. Well, F you, mate. Are you actually going to do anything for this? Yes, we are. Yes. Okay, we've got footage. So let's turn off the screen. Turn off the light, rather. And I'll put some music on. Oh, I've had this so many times, but it's so what? So, what have we got today? We've got some standard 8. Let's switch the top cam off. Someone, well, there's two things, firstly. It's too loud. So, I think someone went to Disney or something. Because this looks like, or maybe not Disney, maybe it's Las Vegas. Or just somewhere where they had a lot of nice lights. Nice. See if I get that focus a bit better. There we go. That's about as good as we're going to get it. Now, in a minute, we'll have some much better lit stuff. Oh. So, yeah, this side towards me says Panasonic just released a new camcorder a few months ago. Sony still makes them. Yeah, so there is still a camcorder market. And they're still making them, which is funny. Now, this is all a bit, a bit dark. Is that any better? Not much. Don't worry, this is just the prelude. We've got some very cool stuff coming. What else? Oh God, get on with it. I loaded this thing earlier and it actually chewed up the film. So you know, fingers crossed doesn't do that again. Is it Las Vegas? I don't know. So yeah, I'll be back, by the way, in in less than a week actually. It's yeah, I will be. I'll be here next Wednesday. Uh-oh. Audrey says I got the jitters. From what? From this? Okay, here we go. Here's some other. Now, for some reason, someone has put this piece of has threaded this thing the wrong way. Gatwick Airport. I know which line this is. This is the London to Brighton line. So they basically turned this section of this film around, which is very weird. But it does. It gets right in a minute. So, yes. Here we go. And it's basically, I don't know why I've got this. It's like an entire film of just railway stuff. It must have been part of a documentary or something. Let me turn that awful music off. That's like that. You know that. This is the night mail crossing the border, bringing the check and a postal order. Letters for the rich, letters for the poor. The shop at the corner, the girl next door, pulling up beat hook. A steady climb, the gradient's against her, but she's on time. past cotton grass and moorland boulder, shoveling white steam over her shoulder, snorting noisily as she passes, silent miles of wind-bent grass. You can tell I'm reading it, can't you? Yeah, so yeah, this is a... there was a classic film made with this kind of footage called The Night Train. I think it was W.H. Auden. Yes, it was. In a farm she passes and no one wakes, but a jug in a bedroom gently shakes. Dawn freshens, her climb is done. Down towards Glasgow she descends, towards the steam tugs yelping down a glade of... Okay, it goes on and on. And this is not going to Glasgow. This was... there was a famous film called something like London to Brighton in 4 minutes, which I believe was like this, but all sped up. Amazing. Great. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the end credits, the end music. And everyone, I want to thank you all for coming. What happened to the end credits? That was Ben's Camera Show number 67, produced and presented by me, Ben Slotover. Next episode will be talking about my Straight 8 film that I made this year. It'll be very close to when they announce whether it's in the festival or not. Very excited about that. Wednesday, 25th of April. That's next Wednesday. I won't be doing Thursday. I'll be out of town. But yeah, I hope to see you all then. This side Horse News is thanks for the show. Yay! Old Rose is going to be okay. Hooray! He's okay, everyone. He's the tornado took his neighbour's house and landed it on someone's wicked sister. Anyway, oh, that's nice. That's a great shot there. I'll take my stupid credits off just for the last bit. Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. It was a weird one this time. Video camera, you know, but hey, why not? Video cameras and trains and WhatsApp messages and all the rest of it. Amen. So yes, I will see you all. That's the same shot of that guy. They've used that over and over. Are we coming into Brighton? Here we go. Maybe this is London to Brighton in 4 minutes. Yay, it is. Nice. And I'll leave you at Brighton, everyone. If you ever come to London, go to Brighton. Don't expect any sand on the beach, though. Good night, everyone. And I'll see you in next Wednesday. CUNW.